Good morning, y'all. Well, I guess it's morning for some people. I'm still in this night shift mode, getting my butt kicked by it, getting 2 and 3 hours of sleep during the night, and trying to do what I got to do during the day while I'm off. But anyway, we're going to do a couple little videos today. I got a new saw in the other day I want to try out, and I'm going to compare it to that Neotec 6200A that I ported. This daggone piece of wood that I've been kind of just gnawing on apparently has had a fence in it at some time, because there's metal in it and it's deep enough in the wood that there's no telling how long that's been there. So I'm gonna go grab another piece of wood down here and bring it back up here, and we're gonna do some testing. Get the old tractor fired up, because I'm too tired to be snatching on a 150, 200 pound piece of wood. So we're gonna see what we can do here. Boy, I know one thing, looking at this camera, I could trim this beard up. I look horrible. Oh, y'all bear with me. Let's go see what we can find down here. I think I got another piece off of this old oak that I fell. That'll get us by a little bit anyway. I can tell you one thing. I need to do some bush off. Lower some of this hip high. Yeah, I bet we got a good piece down here we can work on. I know I've already cut it, I just got to get it to break. Break off. Stronger than what I thought it was. Break off of there. Look at that. That's old wet bottom. I may have to go get the saw just to get this thing to break off of there. There it went. Break off of there. There we go. I need to get me a GoPro, I reckon. See if we can't scoop this thing up. Actually, I probably need to back it up before I end up getting stuck. See if we can't backblade it out of here. There we go. Come on now. Get on out of that. Yeah, we should be able to scoop her on up now. Hey, you gotta have some respect for my skills holding the phone and doing all this with one hand. We get her? Nope. I'm gonna have to pick her up, throw her in there. That ain't gonna work, is it? It's all right. Y'all get to see me possibly break my back doing this. Yeah, I gotta get me a better camera situation. See how that works. Whew, she ain't light. She ain't light. There we go. Y'all probably missed that, but here we go. Anyway, we got us a piece of wood. Hopefully there ain't no metal in this one. Get back up here to the pile and we'll get to work. Yeah, I need to do some bush hogging bad. I need to cut my grass. You get caught up in life and work, everything just tends to fall behind. But anyway, get these videos made and I guess I'll be busy the rest of the day. I'm a little excited about this little saw I picked up. Hopefully she'll run good. I mean, I'm not going to say it's going to beat my Ported Neotec, but we'll find out. So, what we got here is an old Poulan 3450 3.3. For those of you who know, you know what I got in my hand. For those of you who don't, this ain't the Poulan that you think you know. Poulan actually used to make a really fine chainsaw. And when Husqvarna bought them out, Husqvarna don't want the competition. They did the same thing with Red Max. They did the same thing with Johnson Red. Buy them, take their technology to improve what you already have, slowly downgrade the name, make Husqvarna king. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's smart business. I ain't got nothing against them for that. But I hate that, you know, Johnson Red and Poulan and the names that used to make really, really good saws just aren't around anymore. So I got this Neotec bar and chain on here because it's the only one I have that would fit it right. So I figure, you know what, let me do a comparison video between this and that 6200A. I'm sitting here looking at this tooth right here. Apparently I hit some metal in that tree again before I even knew I did. Well, let's fire her up, get her going, make some cuts, get her tuned up, and compare it to that 6200A. I had her running good. Might need a little tuning already. It ain't liking it, is it? That's strange. This thing's running good yesterday. I mean, there's no telling how long this thing sat up. Man, this thing was completely covered in barn dust. There we go. There we go. We're rolling. See what it's got. That's legit. That is legit. Wow. I was not ready for that. Man, that's all cut. I mean, this thing's probably close to 30 years old, y'all. Made in USA. I'll have to learn how to decipher this serial number. This thing definitely needs some running, though, I can tell you that. That's impressive. 54 cc's. I mean, that thing's got some power, man. This ain't no soft piece of wood either. This thing's hard as a rock here in the middle. All right, we'll swap the bar out, see what it does with the Neotec. All right, guys, we're back. Got the Neotec barred up. For those of you who've been watching my channel here, you seen I got this in a little over a week ago. This is their new revamped model of the 6200. This is the 6200A, and man, they killed it. They killed it. If you want to know what I'm talking about, go back and watch the videos. But this thing runs like a scalded dog. And yes, I ported it. So is this truly a fair comparison? Not really, but had to give it a shot. So this is 57 cc's, y'all. It actually has the same bore and stroke as a 357 XP. So I guess technically it would be 56 and a half cc's, give or take. I mean, my measurements on my bore and stroke could have been slightly off. Maybe it's a 58 cc, but anyways, it's ported. It runs like a bat out of hell. Let's see how the Poulan holds up to it. Oh yeah, let me prime it up. Easy start, I forget about that. Chain's a little tight. Give me a second. I'm not even gonna stop the video. I'm just getting my little scrunch here. Just loosen this thing up just a little bit. It's gonna take me just a minute. That chain's just a little bit tight. I don't like my chain loose, but I don't like it to bind on the bar like that. There we go. Cinch that back down. That's better. All right, let's fire it back off. Oh yeah, that's better. All right. Tune that up a little bit. You hear that idle sigh? This is one of them you just cannot tune while it's running. You got to feel what you're doing in order to... There we go. There we go. Get a little bit more on the high side. Again, you just cannot tune this thing while it's running. And it's a little bit lean, so I want to fatten it up just a little bit. There we go. See how that helps it. For those of you who don't know how to tune, learn to tune. All right, here we go. Well, I tell you, I'm proud of the job I did on that. This little cheap saw, I was bowed up about as hard as I could be on that upcut, and it never even let up. All right, well, I think the Neotec definitely beat that Poulan, but that's a stock Poulan. Stock muffler, everything. This is a ported 57-ish cc saw, wide open can, breathing, flowing. I don't think it obliterated it. I mean, it definitely beat it, but I'll have to go back and look at the videos. Anyway, I'm really excited about this little saw, man. This thing runs great for it to be as old as it is. And honestly, I think these are pretty easy to port. It has 31 thou squish on it, stock. So that tells me I could probably do a base gasket leak and get this thing down real close to 20. Which, I mean, that's where you want it at. I haven't pulled time on it or anything, but I have a feeling the way it turns up, it's probably close. I'd say, I bet that exhaust time is probably 103, 104. You know, if I get it down, not much, just a little bit, open them up, open the intake and the exhaust up, let that air get out, do a muffler mod, I think this will beat that Neotec. If I do the same thing to this that I did to that Neotec, I believe this would outrun that Neotec. And guys, I paid 40 bucks total for this thing, shipped to my house and all. And I've made videos in the past before about, you know, what's the best homeowner saw? Well, the best homeowner saw you can get is the best one you can get for the lowest amount of money. The average homeowner don't hardly ever run these things, maybe once or twice a year. If you're down here in the South, your average homeowner is only going to run one whenever a hurricane comes or a tornado comes through. You may not run it for 2 or 3 years. So I'm going to stress this. Don't go to Home Depot or Lowe's or whatever and buy you the homeowner models of Husqvarna or Steel. Because I'm going to tell you, those rancher models, a couple of years ago, I thought they were amazing. Now I know better. They're crap. For the amount of money that you pay for them, they are crap. I'm not saying they're bad saws, but they're extremely too expensive for the quality that you get. $40. This saw right here will smoke a 455 Rancher. Guarantee it. 40 bucks. It's 30 years old, but it's been taken care of. I looked in the board on this thing and it's still shiny. No scratches, hardly any carbon buildup. Don't waste your money on a saw off the shelf like that. Don't buy the Rancher series. You know, if you want to buy a good Husqvarna, buy a 545. A couple $100 more than the Ranchers, and it's a pro level saw. Cuts amazing. One of the fastest damn saws you'll ever have in your hands. If you want to buy a good steel saw, buy a 261. Don't buy the 271. Don't buy the clamshell saws. That's the best thing I can tell you. There's a couple of them out there that are good clamshells, don't get me wrong. For the most part though, just avoid the clamshell saws. Personally, if you're going to go to the store and buy one, buy an Echo. For the money that you spend on a saw, Echo is probably the best bang for the buck out there. Or get you one of these Neotecs or one of the other brands. I mean, Pro Yama makes a freaking stud of a saw. This is actually a lot like Pro Yama now. Just don't waste $500 on a saw that you're going to use once or twice a year, possibly. Anyways, so the Poulan 3450, I think it's going to be a stud whenever I get through with it. I mean, it's kind of a stud now, don't get me wrong. Anyway, this is the end of this video. I'm fitting to make another one. Actually, I want to say something. So I got some big things coming for this channel. I'm trying to build this up, make something out of it. I mean, I'm not gonna lie to y'all, I'd like to be able to get to where I can monetize it a little bit. So any information any of you would like to know, reach out to me, leave a comment, you know, like and subscribe, follow me, and tell me what you want to hear about. You know, I'm basically your average Joe, but I'm your average Joe with a little bit more experience and knowledge than most people. And I have avenues of people that I can reach out to in this community. And man, don't get me started on that. These guys are great. Anyways, the big things I've got coming is I've got 3 ported saws coming by some of the best in the country. I've got a 50cc Tanaka coming from Corey Corp. Just got mailed the other day. And I'm gonna go ahead and tell Corey, man, I'm sorry. I know that saw was a lot for you, but I appreciate you getting it knocked out. I'm ready to run it. I'm ready to run it. I want to compare it to that GZ 5000 that freaking turned into a tornado. Secondly, and this is in no order, this is kind of in the order they're being shipped to me. Bodie Pennington, also known as Novice Lumberjack. If you do not know who he is, go find his channel, because the amount of knowledge that he shares is astronomical. I'm not gonna lie, probably 60 to 70% of everything that I've learned over the last 3 or 4 years, I've learned from his channel. He kind of started off the same way. I mean, don't get me wrong, when it comes to mechanical experience and engineering and stuff like that, he's been doing it for a long time. But he loved chainsaws. So he took that experience and that knowledge that he had, and he took it into the chainsaw world. And man, he's become freaking awesome. I've seen some of the saws that he's built, and they blew my mind. Well, saying that, I've got a 562 XP Mark II. If y'all follow him, you know the saw I'm talking about, the blacked out Deuce. Man, I'm not saying that's probably the fastest 562 I've ever seen, but it's probably the fastest I've seen that still has the low end grunt that saw has. I watched that video of him a couple weeks ago running a 32-inch bar in that big stump of cherry. Man, that saw ate like it was at freaking the Golden Corral buffet. Like, never stopped, just kept on getting it. That's impressive. A 60cc saw with a 32-inch bar on it, ripping, not just cutting, but ripping through it, no hesitation. I'm hyped about that. So originally it was just going to be, I had a 562 Mark II, sending it to him to get ported. And he came back with, you know what? There's some things I want to try to improve on what I've done, which I don't know how he can, the way that thing runs. How about I just trade you mine and I keep yours? You're damn right. I'd be a fool. I'd be a straight up fool not to take that trade. I've seen what that 562 will do, and that thing is an absolute freak. Yes, sir, I'll take that trade. So I got that beautiful saw coming. And third, I don't want to say this is my most excited, because I'm excited about all of them, but this is the one I'm most eager to get my hands on because of what it is. Echo 7310, ported by Phil Shoecraft, or Crafterized Performance Saws. I can't remember if it's Working Performance Saws or something. Crafterized Performance Saws. I've been watching his social media for 6 months or so, and this dude is a freaking machine. I mean, he's putting out a new saw every day, and every one of them straight up hogs, man. Just straight up boar hogs, just tearing through hickory, tearing through white oak and red oak, just asking for more. And I was like, God almighty, this dude, he ain't just putting out one here and there. Every friggin' saw he builds is an absolute monster. So I got lucky and I won that Echo 7310 on an auction. And I got it for a really good price. Let's just say the price I have in it, plus having to replace a handle on it because the handle was broken. The auction, plus replacing the handle, plus Phil's porting services, I have less in this saw than I would if I went and bought that thing stock off the shelf and ran it. I'll leave it at that. But when I won it, I did not know the handle was broken. And I'd already told myself I was going to send it to Shoecraft. So a week and a half or so goes by, and I haven't received any information from the auction house. So I called them trying to find out what's going on. Well, they said they had tried to contact me because they didn't list the auction properly. And they discovered that the handle was broken. So they gave me the option of giving me a discount or backing out of it. So I said, I'll tell you what, I had a couple other saws that I'd won from their auction. I said, you ship my packages for free, and you send this one to this address, and you send these to this address, we'll call it even. And they worked that out. So I contacted Phil and asked him if he would be willing to swap the handle out and just kind of inspect the saw and make sure everything was okay with it. And he was like, yeah, man, go ahead. And I mean, honestly, it's a 30-minute job if you know what you're doing, but that's not something that you expect your porter to do. Your porter is not a parts changer. They're there to do a service, and that service is to port that saw and get as much out of it as of to what your specs are as they can. But he's like, yeah, man, no problem. Ship it to me. We'll get it taken care of. Phil hasn't had that saw a little over a week, and it's done. It's already getting shipped back. So within 2 days, I've got 3 saws ported by some of the best in the country coming my way. Timing, man, God's timing. Nobody can argue with what God puts in your life at the right time. I've got some tree jobs coming up, and I'm gonna put some videos together of these saws. And you know, there's been some negativity about Novice Lumberjack. I don't get it, because I mean, yeah, I don't know everything that goes on, but I know what he puts out. I know his personality. He's been nothing but friendly with me. So I want to give that 562 a rundown. I mean, I want to bury that thing and show that this isn't just somebody who's favored towards him showing it off and blowing it up to be more than it is. Because I'm gonna be honest with you, if I feel like it's running good, I'm gonna say, man, I really don't think it's that good. But I don't think that's gonna happen, because that saw appears to be an absolute monster. So I want to give Bodie his due and show that saw off in someone else's hands. Corey's name is made. I mean, if you know anything about porters, I mean, he's one of the best there is. Shoecraft, he's fairly new to the scene, but my God, does that man build a saw and build it quick. Like, I mean, less than a 10-day turnaround, and this thing's already shipping back to me. That's insane. So I got 3 saws coming in by very proven and exceptional builders, and I want to try to make some videos showing them off in some oak, some southern live oak, some southern red oak, some water oak, just the hardest stuff I got in my area, and see how it holds up. I'm excited. I'm ramped up about them saws. I have another one that will be getting sent off God knows when. My 357 XP that I picked up last week, I'm going to try to send that to Kevin Levanway. I've been wanting to try to get with him to port a saw for a while, and I didn't know what to send him, but I know like his 346s and his 357s, I'm not even going to classify them. They are what they are, and they're, I about said it, they're freaking amazing. So he is going to get that 357 XP. He has a pretty extreme waiting list, but I'm willing to wait. Anyways, I'm finna make a little video of how I do a little cleanup of these, and I'll post that separately, but I just want to do this comparison between them, kind of update y'all on what I got going on. Hopefully y'all like what I'm doing. Again, you know, this is something that I'm doing not just for me, but for my family. You know, I'm actually not really an extroverted person. People think I am, but I'm really more internal. I'm not necessarily an introvert, but I'm not someone who's really open with everything in my life. I like my privacy, but I also enjoy this, and this is something that I love. And if I can do this and share it with the world, let's rock it, you know. Anyways, y'all like, subscribe, give me some information. Tell me what y'all want to look at. I'm trying to grow this. I want to make this into something to be the best thing that I can make it to be. Y'all check it out. Give me some information. I appreciate y'all. God bless you, and y'all have a good one.